Well, my name's Ralph Turner. I'm a Christian author and biographer. But I want to tell you something about me today rather than writing about other people, because I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating 50 years as a Christian, 50 years of a faith in Jesus Christ. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Where have the years gone? I got off a coach with a load of other boys just outside the city of St David's in Pembrokeshire. And we were camping. I love camping. I've been camping with the Scouts many times and was looking forward to this. But this wasn't organised by the Scouts. This was organised by the Crusaders, now known as the Urban Saints. I was aware that the Crusaders were a Christian organisation, but I had no problem with that. I mean, my parents said I was a Christian anyway. I'd been born in the UK. Everyone was a Christian if you were born in the UK. But of course that wasn't true. And that week, for the first time, I heard about a God who loved me. I heard about a God who'd sent his son Jesus for me. And I knew I had to do something about that. But being rather shy, I wasn't willing to put my hand up and say, yes, I want to pray that prayer and ask Jesus into my life. But as I got back to my tent that night, as the others around me slept, I knew I had to pray that prayer. I knew that what the padre at that camp had said made sense. And I remember thinking, I was only 15, kind of geeky really, glasses, acne. God loved me. That was incredible. God loved me. And I thought, well, I'll give this a go. That was how matter of fact I was. I'll give this a go. And 50 years on, I'm still giving it a go. I'm grateful to God for every one of those years that he's looked after me. 50 years is a long time, but it goes in a moment. Let me encourage every one of you watching this. Most of you, I think, will have a Christian faith. Let me encourage you to live that faith and tell your story that other lives may be changed as well. When I'm not writing, I teach church history, and one of my favourite characters in church history is Charles Wesley, the younger brother of John. John Wesley, of course, heading up that revival in the 1700s with George Whitefield that so affected our nation. But Charles was with him in that. And whereas John seems to me to be rather austere, a little frightening almost, Charles is not. He's got a real kind of lightness of spirit about him. He used to write to his wife Sally some quite cheeky letters really, talking about the people he was working with. But he didn't just write letters, he wrote hymns as well. And of course Charles Wesley's hymns were the heartbeat of that revival, telling out the glory of what God had done. Charles wrote a particular hymn 1 year on after his own conversion, exactly a year later. He'd heard a friend of his a Moravian friend, Peter Busso, saying, if I had 1,000 tongues, every one of them I would employ to worship God. And so he took those words and wrote that hymn, oh, for 1,000 tongues to sing my great Redeemer's praise. And just as Charles was grateful 1 year on in his walk, I'm grateful 50 years on in mine. The grace of God was so amazing that day 50 years ago, and it still is today. Oh, for 1,000 tongues to sing my great Redeemer's praise.